where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I did P90X for a week and then I couldn't move my arms. Everything hurt and I don't have 6-pack abs. So forget it,
I've
right?
done P90X twice, so I know that program.
Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hausman. Joining me today is a brand new rock star. He's the co-founder and COO of Tango Financial, one of the Canada's fastest growing mortgage broker networks, 400 plus agents, 4.7 billion funded annually. He's also the creator of two standout platforms, the VIP Club and Strategy Hub. Jason Henneberry, thanks so much for joining me.
Kirby, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We've been enjoying our conversation before we even started recording. So let's dive in. You have worked with over 1,000 agents and advisors. So what's the most common struggle, I guess, you see when it comes to engaging clients?
Yeah, on the marketing side, it's having the time to do the work. I think most people know what they need to do, and they just can't seem to get to it because the job, whatever you are. I'm in the mortgage industry, so if you're a mortgage broker, the job of being a mortgage broker tends to take precedent over the activity of marketing the business. So that's a big pain point for people.
Yeah, I call it the whirlwind, right? And one of my favorite quotes in the world is the greatest distance in the world is the distance between I know and I do. Because there's so many times where you go to education and you sit through it and you're like, oh yeah, I know that. But you're like, yeah, but I'm not doing it. Right? And I think that the people who are really standouts are the ones who actually execute on the stuff.
And you mentioned Strategy Hub a second ago. That's a coaching platform that we have for mortgage brokers and other financial professionals. But people just keep showing up and they keep learning and they keep attending and they keep signing up for classes and stuff like that. And then you really see the difference in the success, the people that execute. It's a smaller percentage, but man, those people are killing it. And then others, they just, maybe not, they just don't have the time or whatever. They haven't executed on the same level, but you do see the difference.
Yeah. Alex Hermosi is somebody who I follow a lot. And he talks about the idea that you haven't really learned until you've actually changed your behavior. Right.
Sure.
Otherwise,
that makes sense.
Yeah. Which I was actually listening to him say that on a podcast today and thinking about the 10 things that I've heard and haven't implemented. So yeah, that always hits home. So you've talked about building marketing that doesn't, quote, feel like marketing. That caught my attention. So what do you mean by that? And can you talk about maybe an example?
Best example of this is, I think, education-based marketing, or trying to add value, be helpful, share the thing that it is you're trying to attract. More of a show, don't tell type approach, I think works the best, especially in the financial sector. Whether you're a broker, a realtor, a financial advisor, it doesn't matter. If you can show the benefit and help people understand, as opposed to trying to sell them a product, that's like infinitely better.
Yeah. You're giving first, right? Providing value.
Yeah. And so many professionals don't want to share. That's an interesting roadblock for people, is they're like, I have this great idea. I don't want to put it out there because I don't want my competitor to see me talking about this thing. But it's like, you know what? Like, you've got to put it out there if you want to attract people with it.
Well, and I think the funny thing is people don't understand how few people are willing to execute. Right? You're more willing to share ideas if you realize how many people you could give ideas to all day and they're not going to do anything with it.
Since you were referencing quotes, like I saw a snippet of Sam Altman talking about entrepreneurs being afraid to share their idea. And he was like, the reality is that I think he said, like, you could take the perfectly formulated idea, put it on Tim Cook's desk, nothing's going to happen to it. Like, end-to-end process, like the best idea in the world. It's like, because people are busy executing on their own plans. They don't have time to even think about yours. Yeah.
I think that's great advice, is give first, and it allows you to build integrity and trust. And I think that's right. So in your view, what's the number one mistake most service professionals make when they're trying to scale their presence?
Just consistency, just showing up, just doing the work day in, day out, and sticking with it. And I'm guilty of it too. There's so many areas in my life that I'm like, man, it's like going to the gym. Like if you just show up every day and you do the motions, you'll gradually have a better physique. You don't have to knock it out of the park in one gym session. And I think that's key.
Yeah, it's so funny. I compare fitness, and I've done this several times, as fitness to whether it's sales or content marketing, right? Because I think so many times we go to that conference and we're like, okay, this is it. I'm going to get after it. I'm going to, this is the time where social media is going to really do it. And then you like go crazy for 2 weeks. And I compare it to like the old P90X, where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I did P90X for a week and then I couldn't move my arms. Everything hurt and I don't have 6-pack abs. So forget it,
I've
right?
done P90X twice, so I know that program.
Yeah, I liked P90X3. It would
I
fit
never
my
got there.
lifestyle.
I did
Yeah,
the first twice and half of the second. That was it.
yeah. The second one was ridiculous. I just couldn't do it. So anyway, okay, sorry, we may have gone off topic there.
We're
I
on. It's
apologize.
okay.
Yeah. So you often talk about turning a personal brand into a repeatable marketing engine. I love that concept. So can you talk a little bit about what that process might?
Honestly, the best marketers in the world, they niche down, they hone in on one or two messages, and then they repeat it. They just keep saying the same thing to people in different ways. And I think that there's a lesson in there, because so many of us feel like we get tired of our own marketing before you've heard
Yeah,
that
yeah.
before, right? Like before our audience does. So one of the things that I try to show people is that you can just niche down, pick your path, and then find different ways of saying the same thing, and then people will start to recognize your brand way more than if you dilute your efforts across different topics. And I think the people in my world that have been able to successfully do that, that's paying dividends. Like you just see it in the number of views, the level of engagement, the number of people that are reaching out, their leads, closed sales. So yeah, it's that would be the number one thing, is just try to find ways to say the same thing, and from different angles, essentially.
I think that's such good advice. And it's something I struggle with, if I'm being honest. Like I want to say the new thing because like you said, I get tired of the message before the audience does. I, have you, like you mentioned that maybe you struggle with that. What have you done to kind of keep on task with that?
Okay, so I do really struggle with this. I'm like a math
Okay.
professor. I've got 4 active businesses, and I've got 40 other ideas that I'm not executing on. What I do to if I'm going to execute on something or work on something, I really, really, really try to make sure that that thing complements everything else I'm doing. And so any, like, call it an ounce of effort that goes into one project floats all the boats, essentially. And so right now I'm rolling out a digital newsletter where it's pretty cool, actually, where all the audience and the traffic that come from it are from all of our partners, essentially. And what we've done is we've written that newsletter in a way that when someone directs traffic to the site rebrands itself to them. But we're very efficient in how we write the newsletter. It's cool because we write the newsletter around the mortgage and the financial strategies that I coach in Strategy Hub, and that attracts the kind of people that we want to attract into Tango, into our main business. And so my effort in building a digital newsletter feeds all of my other businesses, and it's a bit of a passion project. So I think that it's okay to get distracted. It's okay to have lots of ideas. I think lots of us, if you're entrepreneurial, you're like that. Just really try to make sure that when you add something to the mix, that it's not taking time away from the others. It's actually complementing the other projects that you have.
I needed to hear that today. That's really good. I
Did you?
like that one. Yeah, I think that's
I need to
really
hear it
good.
every day, man.
Yeah, that's really good. All
Yeah,
right, bonus question for you. This has been
sure.
great. Um, what's the best branded merchandise experience you've ever been a part of, either giving or receiving?
Okay. Well, this question is near and dear to my heart because my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, launched a gift box company business that they do closing. She does closing gifts, and
Nice.
one of the things that she does really well is she just loads it up. Like when you get a gift box from a partner at Christmas, and there's like 3 things in a big box, and there's a lot of paper. It's kind of like it cheapens the experience. Her gift boxes are just like loaded to the max. And so the best experiences that I ever have with gifts is when someone sends something that is high quality. It doesn't have to be an outlandish gift, but if it's like a ball cap, like, man, I love high quality ball caps, and I really don't like cheap ball caps. And
Yeah.
so But people are quick to just send cheap stuff out just for the act of giving. And I think it's better to be more intentional and higher quality. No matter what it is that you decide to do, that goes so much further. It gets noticed because there's a lot of lower quality giving that's happening out there when it comes to gifts. Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend. I totally agree. And I think that, people sometimes don't understand that they're putting their brand on top of something. And it's like, if you want it to represent what you represent. And so I think that's great
Apple,
advice.
think Lululemon, like the best brands in the, like, you touch it, you feel it, it feels good. It's an extension of you. So don't cheap out and spend $50 on the hoodie, spend 90, maybe send half as many, but it'll be way more impactful.
I love it. That's great advice. So, okay, really quick. This has been really fun. Where can people learn a little bit more about you or connect?
Yeah, my handle is at Jason Henneberry. You can find me on Instagram. So my favorite place to be. And yeah, it's pretty easy, but that handle carries across all the platforms, wherever you like.
Jason, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. This has been really fun. We'll have to do it again sometime, okay?
Thanks, Kirby. Appreciate having me on the show.
All right. That's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.